Doesn't matter what the fan base thinks. Fan base is irrelevant. It's what's
Yeah.
best for the team, not the fan base. Fan base means nothing. You see this in my hand? It's nothing.
Yeah.
That is the fan base.
Royce stats, Royce stats. Yeah, Royce stats, Royce stats. Royce stats, Royce stats. Yeah, Royce stats, Royce stats. Okay, step into the mind of a young boy genius, telling you what's going on in stadiums and arenas. We talking the NFL, we talking the NBA, we talking about the biggest sports news of the day. Got a favorite athlete, a team that you're thinking. Well, let's put it to the test and see where Royce ranks them. And listen, man, I could go on and on, but let's get into it, featuring his co-host Dom. Sit back, relax, and welcome to the pod, and let me introduce everybody to Royce's thoughts. Yeah. Yeah. I said sit back, relax, and welcome to the pod, and let me introduce everybody to Royce's thoughts.
All right. It's that time of the week again, where we record an episode of a podcast called
Royce's thoughts.
Moved by.
Moving with Mars.
As always, I am your co-host, Dom, sitting next to the namesake himself.
Royce.
How we doing today?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just a yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's good. That's better than a mid or a nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say so. Okay, cool. Listen, it's Wednesday, December 7th. For the OG listeners out here, this is our original record day of the week. And we're just happy to be here. At least I am. Are you happy to be here?
Where?
Mid here? I don't, just here. Just
Where
here?
is here?
Here's here.
Where is here?
Here is a recording in the studio.
Then yes.
I will say this. Royce, for those of you who are not watching this, Royce has on sunglasses.
Yeah.
Inside. He wears his sunglasses at night. Y'all, do you know that? Do you know that song? I wear my sunglasses at night. I don't know. You should check it out. It's like from the 80s. So I just thought y'all should know that. He's got that. And then we have product placement going on all over our set, but these are not sponsors. So if you see it, it just is what it is. We're thirsty. Okay? We're thirsty. Once we get big and have to make it, then we can get like plastic cups or cups with like Royce's Thoughts logo on it, and we can be drinking from that. Nobody knows what you're actually drinking because you don't want to give a free ad to all of the listeners and watchers and viewers. So there's that. Okay. Man, I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot that's going on in the sports world. There's just a lot. So where would you like to start?
I don't care.
Well, I think we should start with the most obvious. And this is just my opinion because I think it's the most obvious, and it is the world of college football.
Okay.
First and foremost, what did you think about the college football Final Four? The
Pretty
Final Four.
Pretty good.
Do you have any actual thoughts on it?
Nope. That's probably what I would have done.
So no arguments or complaints about the order of the four?
Nope.
So for those of y'all who may not understand the order of the four, what four we're talking about, the Final Four. So playing for the college football championship, you have the number 1 seed, Georgia Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
You have the number 2 seed, Michigan Wolverines. The number 3 seed, TCU Horned Frogs. And the number 4 seed, Ohio State Buccaneers, Buckeyes. So Ohio State and Georgia versus TCU, or Ohio State and Georgia, and then Michigan and TCU on the other. So nothing. The only other team that potentially, as we talked about last week, had an argument was Alabama. But they had 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
USC 2 losses. So there was literally just a 1 loss team up there.
Yep.
So you're cool with it.
Well, there
Okay.
2 1-loss teams.
Yeah, 2. Sorry. Just, yes. There was no other 1-loss teams, though, up there. Right?
What?
So, in other words, Ohio State was the last 1-loss team as well.
TCU also had 1 loss.
Right. But, yes. But TCU was undefeated going into the weekend.
Yeah.
So, okay. Who do you think, we'll just knock this out the way. Who do you think's going to win? Ohio State? Georgia. Will it be close?
Yeah.
1 touchdown close?
Yeah.
Less than 1 touchdown close.
1 touchdown close.
Okay. I'm conflicted about this. I have a feeling that Georgia, they've played close games all year. Like they've blown some teams out, but
Have they played close games?
Played close games versus bad teams. Missouri,
That was a close game.
Kentucky. Who's the other one? The non-conference team that like took them to like the third quarter to get out. I mean, but they destroy everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have faith in Ohio State's defense, so I think it could be ugly. But if you're ever gonna push a team against the wall and make them like show who they are after you got drilled by Michigan, this should be your chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can see where they keep it close. What about Michigan and TCU?
I don't know. I don't know.
You haven't watched either one of those teams, have you?
No, I have. I just don't. I don't know.
You think it's a toss-up?
I do.
So like, it could come down to the wire.
I didn't say that.
Oh,
I think whoever wins will win by like more than a touchdown. But
okay.
I don't know who's gonna win.
Interesting. If I had to make you choose, who would it be?
I don't know.
You really don't know?
Nope.
Okay. Do you have I want this team to win?
TCU.
You want TCU? The whole thing?
Yes.
Okay.
'Cause-
Why?
Frogs.
Is it the Hypnotoad?
Not just frogs.
Just frogs in general? Interesting.
I don't like frogs, but I find it funny that they're the frogs
And they're purple.
and they're purple.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't think it's going to be close. And I think Michigan's going to destroy them.
I don't.
I could be wrong. I hope for the sake of TV, I'm
I think
wrong.
if TCU wins, I think it'll be TCU Georgia in the national championship, and I think if Georgia plays in the national championship, I think they want Michigan.
You think Georgia
I think
would
if
rather
Georgia
play
plays Michigan in the national championship, I don't think it'll be a close game. But I think TCU. I think something might happen.
Interesting. So my only challenge with this Michigan team, I think they're sleepy good. And what I mean by that is their running game.
Well, their star running back actually is not playing.
Yeah.
So.
And it has not stopped them at all the last 2 games. I know it's just 2 games. You get a lot more time, but it's not like they're just rolling out some chumps out there in their backup running back spot. So like, I just think that I'm going to be honest. I think that Georgia's going to be your national champion, but I would not be surprised if Michigan is. And I think it's only those 2 teams that have a chance.
You all right.
The good thing is we'll have a chance to actually see this later.
Yeah.
And I will, in a couple weeks, you'll get to pick them in the new Royce Picks 'em segment. So with that, I would like to get to the other news that is college football.
All right.
Coaching changes have happened.
They have.
Do you have any comments on any of the coaching changes that have happened thus far?
Do I have any comments on them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do.
Like?
I don't know. You have to tell me which coaching change that you want me to talk about.
Well, let's talk about the one that the whole country is talking about.
Yes.
Deion
Luke
Sanders.
Fickle. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Is that what his name is?
Give me a Luke Fickle to Wisconsin. Give me your breakdown there.
Go Batters.
What do we think, man? Like Colorado did it, right? Like didn't they achieve the goal? They got the guy. They got prime time.
Yep.
How do you feel about it?
I don't know. I think Colorado did great, but I think that Deion Sanders probably had other options that he could have gone with that could have been better than Colorado.
It does feel like it was a little rushed, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
From Deion's perspective. And I also understand that the big schools were coming off the board left and right. And maybe that means that the big schools didn't want to give him a shot. But I'm going to say this. Dion to Colorado. The move makes sense, kind of. Like if you look at a Pac-12 list or a Pac-12 less with USC and UCLA, like it's a little bit easier to get to a national championship, right? There's zero. The team they were garbage last year. So you literally can kick the whole team to the curb, like he said, and bring in your own dudes and probably have a chance to do that quicker than maybe at some places with some established guys already. I don't know though, man. Like, okay, give me, what do you think his win total in year one's going to be at Colorado?
How many games did they play?
12.
12?
Yeah.
7.
You think he gets to 7?
Yep.
They were 1-11 last year and like 3 and something the previous 2 years before that.
7.
Okay. I think if he can get Colorado to 7 wins, then he'll be well on his way to his NFL coaching job. Like he won't leave next year. I'm just saying.
With
like
the Seahawks. Pete Carroll's going to retire eventually.
I mean, yeah, he is. Okay. All right. The other coaching change, which, hey, we're in Louisville, Kentucky. So you got to bring it up. The University of Louisville. They got their guy. They brought home Jeff Brom.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I don't really have much to say about it. I don't think anybody else really needs to say anything about it. He's the guy. He was the only choice that made sense for the fan base. From here, played here, coached here, all the years before. No?
Makes sense for the fan base.
Uh-oh. Let me hear it. Let's have it.
The fan base, doesn't matter what the fan base thinks. Fan base is irrelevant. It's what is best for the team, not the fan base. Fan base means nothing. You see this in my hand? It's nothing. That is the fan base. The fan base is irrelevant to the coaching decision. If you want to win games, you get the coach that fits the system of your team the most, not who the fans like the most.
Dang. Okay. So then let me hear it. Was Jeff Brom the right choice for the team?
I don't know.
You really don't know.
I have no clue.
No clue.
Nope.
All right. So you just went on this long rant.
Well, I'm just saying.
You could argue that because of what he did at Purdue. I've actually been a part of both arguments, like for and against, because Purdue was in the Big Ten West, and yes, they're in the Big Ten, but if Big Ten bias. But regardless, I would say that for the team, he's going to be best because I don't think he's going anywhere else from this point forward. I think he is prepared to come here and retire here, unless we fire him because we have to.
Yep.
So, were there any other coaching changes? I mean, there's a lot, but coaches change all the time. I just think that was interesting. So then the other thing I want to talk about is the transfer portal.
All right.
How do you, you're 14 years old. How do you actually feel about the transfer portal itself?
I don't have an issue with it.
Do you feel like, okay, I'm trying to figure out, here's what I'm trying to get. I want to ask you a loaded question, but instead of like asking you like 4 questions to get to it, I'm just going to flat out say it. Do you think it's sending the wrong message though for kids your age, obviously older and then potentially younger, that you can go somewhere for a year, if you're not happy, you roll out and go to the next place?
No, because I'm pretty sure that that's what you can do.
So the ability to stick with it, work your way through. Yeah, you might be sitting on the bench year 1, but you work harder in the weight room to be able to win that starting spot, that doesn't really mean anything anymore.
If I'm working at McDonald's and I don't like it at McDonald's, then I can go work at Burger King.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so let me bring it home a little bit closer to you then. You're playing at you're on your high school team. Okay. You freshman year, you come in, you get on the what sport do we want this example to be?
Lacrosse.
Okay. So freshman year, you get on the field for, a game early on. Y'all were playing a bad team. You get out there, score a goal. You get 12, 15 minutes that game. You come out the next game, you get a little bit less time. And then you get into the meat of the season and you don't play anymore. At the end of that year, you have a choice. You can come back and play next year on the same team as a sophomore. Probably get more time because the seniors will have left and everybody moves up a little bit. Or you could transfer to the school down the street where that coach said you'll be a starter. What would you do?
What would I do?
Mhm.
Well, I would probably stay. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't have the option to not stay.
So you really are fine. So here's my problem. I don't have a problem with kind of what you're saying, right? You work at Burger King, you don't like it, you get to go to McDonald's, vice versa. That makes sense. Free market world, understand. My problem is more about not sticking with something and working through the adversity to then succeed. It's viewed a little bit to me as I'm just taking the easy way out and I'm gone. And I'll tell you why. I don't mind it for the one-time transfers, right? It happens. I'm here, quarterback, you're quarterback, I get hurt, break my arm, you come out, you ball out. It's not a spot for me anymore. I'm going to go to the next place. JT Daniel, Royce. You know who he is? Former
Maybe.
quarterback at Georgia, USC, West Virginia. He's in the portal again. He is going to go to his fourth school in college and play football. What do we feel about that example? You
I
don't
don't
really
know. Depends on when he left for Georgia. Let's say he just wasn't playing. Okay, but then wherever else he went, if the atmosphere of the place is like not good, then you can leave. But I mean, if it's just because you're not playing, it seems like a you problem.
Every place that he was a starter and got beat out. He started the season as a starter and then he got beat out by the end of the season. There has been some injuries. It's not like he's just sucking it up, but I'm just saying, I do think, to your point, if you're just not playing, maybe that's a you problem, bro. So I don't know. It's fine. I'll get off my high horse because clearly I'm on one. But I do. This is one of these few things where I'm like, or one of these times where I'm like, man, I really want your perspective because as a child, right? Like you're still a kid. I want to know how you view this because for me, when I was in college, when I was growing up, there was no option for transfer portals. You could transfer and you transferred one time. And when you did, you had to sit out a year before you could play. So, and if you, and that year counted against your eligibility. So if you had already redshirted, you played a year, you transfer, you sit out another year, you only have 2 years left to play. It's not like you get all these extra years. So you had to stick with it. You didn't have a choice. So part of me thinks that that's the way it should be, but that it's probably old thinking. Don't you think? Maybe?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's put a bow on the college football discussion. And while we're doing that, let's go ahead and thank our title sponsor, Moving with Mardis. Sean and the team, they are great at helping you buy a home, sell a home. If you need property to invest in, if you need a free appraisal to get on your house, you should call Sean and his team over at Moving with Mardis. And I keep saying call, but you can email them. You can go to the website. The website is movingwithmardis.com, and Mardis is MARDIS.com. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, if I were in a position right now where I needed to sell a house, I would call Sean. Now, yes, he is the sponsor of this podcast, so yes, I'm more inclined to do that, but I would do that if not, because they're good people over there. Again, I need to get a picture of the sign that he has up in the yard right now, and I'll post it on here so y'all can just be like, bro, he cares. He cares. Man, he cares. So with that, we want to thank Sean for his continued support of Royce's Thoughts and being the title sponsor. With that, your Lakers played a game yesterday.
They play a lot of games.
And I only say this because this was like it was the second NBA game that I'd watched this season. Now, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched the quarter.
You only watched it because I turned it on.
I know. I watched it because you turned it on, and it was close. And then it wasn't, because Donovan Mitchell from the Ville went.
Actually, it's like from Brooklyn, but it's like, okay.
He went to school at Louisville.
Yeah.
Hashtag Tom Jackson. He crushed it. He played phenomenal.
Yep.
Is it? I noticed today what the Anthony Davis is out, LeBron's out, and Pat Beverly's questionable, doubtful.
Yeah. They only lost by 13.
I know they did. It was weird. It's kind of like
out by like almost 30 though at the end of the first quarter.
They were.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was bad.
It kind of felt like they just gave up. They were only down 9, and they were like, LeBron's out. I'm like, what? Like, I felt like they could have come back. Now, Donovan was playing lights out, so there's that. How do you feel about the Lakers, though? Like, they've played well these last couple weeks.
Yep.
Thanks in large part to
Anthony Davis,
who, I will say this, he did have the flu last night, so he didn't play in the entire second half. I don't know how he played in the first half.
He played 8 minutes.
So, Anthony Davis-less Lakers are kind of like the Lakers that were at the beginning of the season, right? So, like, I'm going to go ahead and say I want to see that game again with a healthy Anthony Davis.
The Lakers would have won if they had a healthy Anthony Davis. Guess we'll never know.
Are you feeling good about the Lakers' playoff chances right now?
Yeah.
What about the Lakers' playoff run chances right now?
No.
If AD plays the way that he does, aren't we looking at a team that could make a run?
Yeah.
You're just not excited about him yet. Is it still too early?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Well, then, in that case, I want to talk about one thing before we get to the new segment. The Pick'em segment. So, if you want to gloat, I'm surprised you don't have a Yankees shirt on.
I predicted that.
Why don't you tell the people what happened?
Well, Aaron Judge re-signed to the Yankees, and I will not gloat because we paid him a lot of money.
How much?
$360 million.
Over how long?
9 years.
What was the offer at the beginning of the season? 7 for $214?
Yeah, something like that.
My man made himself some extra change.
Yep.
And did you realize that wasn't the best offer that he had received? The Padres offered
him like $410 million.
Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He turned down an extra $50 million to stay home.
Well, to stay in New York.
Yeah.
He had the option to actually go home to the Giants. But
that's true.
We're just better.
So, with this, do you feel good now about the Yankees team next year?
No.
Still?
Why would I feel good?
I thought you...
Job's not finished.
You said job's not finished?
Job's not finished.
Okay. What? The player part of the job is not finished? Like player getting part?
I'll feel good when they all have rings on their fingers. Then I'll feel good.
Okay. Dang, we need Royce for GM. That's some stuff
That
right
actually
there.
won't happen. They re-signed their GM to a four-year deal. So
Yes, I don't know any team that's gonna sign a 14-year-old as your GM though. It kind of makes it hard to take players out to dinner.
I will trade you this bag of Starburst for Shohei Ohtani. How do you feel about that?
How big's the bag?
Pretty big.
Wheelbarrow full of Starburst, you might have my attention. Just saying. All right, so I want to do this. So last week we introduced a new segment. I simply called Royce Picks 'em. And I would like to recap your picks from last week.
All right.
And here's the problem. I'm going to be honest, people. I said I was going to bet them, and I forgot. So the 5 games. So we're gonna each week I'm gonna give you 5 games. You're gonna pick them. Just the outright winner, wins, losses. And last week's games was Netherlands versus US, K-State versus TCU, Georgia versus LSU, Dolphins versus 49ers, Titans versus Eagles. Netherlands versus US. You chose Netherlands.
Did you look at that?
And the Netherlands won. K-State versus TCU. You chose K-State.
Did you look at that?
And K-State won. Georgia versus LSU. Even though I should have changed it, you chose Georgia, and Georgia won.
I would have chosen Utah over USC too.
Would you really have?
I would have.
Oh, well, you would have. Dang, you still would have gotten it. Dolphins over 49ers. Dolphins versus 49ers. You chose.
I only chose the Dolphins out of spite for the 49ers because I hate them.
You chose the Dolphins.
If I was a Chicago Bears fan, I would have chosen the 49ers, but I'm not.
Well, you didn't. So the 49ers won. So 3-1 so far. And then Titans versus Eagles. You chose the Eagles. It wasn't close.
So 4 for 4.
You went 4-1.
4 for 4.
4-1.
4 no, actually.
4-1.
The 49er one doesn't count because I don't like the 49ers. So I'm not going to choose them.
It does count.
Anytime you ask me, the 49ers could be playing the Houston Texans, and I would choose the Houston Texans.
4-1. So this week's games are the classic battle. Army versus Navy. Football. Alabama versus Houston college basketball. 1 versus 8. Arizona versus Indiana college basketball. 14 versus something. Jets versus Bills. And Netherlands versus Argentina.
I'm not liking this college basketball here.
Well, I'm going to be honest. There's no real football, and the NFL slate this week is not great. It's just not great.
The Seahawks play the Panthers.
Yeah, not great. Not great slate for watching it. Great slate for teams that need to get wins.
Yeah.
So, Navy versus Army. Would you like any time to research this?
Yes, I would.
And while you do that, I will say that I don't really have anything else to say, but I'm still excited to. I gotta build this sheet out.
Oh my gosh, they're both terrible. Navy's 4-7 and Army's 5-6.
I'm gonna be honest with you though.
That's gross.
It's rare that records don't matter in this game. Just so you know.
Army beat Navy in swimming.
Did they?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. All right, what do you got?
Army.
Alabama, Houston.
Alabama.
Houston's number 1.
I don't care.
Okay.
Rankings don't matter in college basketball.
All right. Arizona, Indiana.
Indiana.
Jets, Bills.
Bills.
Netherlands, Argentina.
Netherlands.
All right. Okay. We're going to see. I'm actually going to, if I can remember, I'm going to place a bet on this for you. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here.
Yep.
Might do like a little round robin bet, so it doesn't matter if you get, you get more money if you get all 5, but it is what it is. Okay. Let's take this time and transition to the voicemail segment of the show, sponsored by MR DetailWorx. So I will say this about this voicemail. We have one today. So last week we didn't have any, and it was sad. But now we have one. And so before we get to it, I want to play the song that we always like
Did you
to
say
hear.
it's sad?
We were sad. We didn't have any voicemails last year.
I think you said the voicemail was sad.
Oh, no. We didn't have any voicemail. It was sad. But at MR DetailWorx, their mission is simple: to provide high-quality service in a timely manner. So if you need your car detailed, you should reach out to Jerry and his team at MR DetailWorx. And that's work, WORX. Get that car cleaned up before the holidays. It's nice. It's nice to do that. Maybe a little Christmas gift, whatever it may be. But just in case you're new to the podcast, we do something where we play the second best jingle in all of jingles.
Okay, stop. Let me take a look at your whip. Is it new? Is it from 2006? It could be a Lamborghini, Cadillac, or Buick. Either way, we making sure that your ride is legit. If you got a nick, a scratch, we could buff that out. Yeah, car feeling messy, don't let it stress you out. You gon' leave with the shine that's as clean as these rhymes. From the hood to the rim, got the wax.
You want that advantage,
ceramic, protected from damage, so fresh and so lavish. Now that you heard, yeah, why don't you spread that word? The best service in town is at MR DetailWorx.
All right, so with that, let's get to the voicemail.
Royce, Dom, this is Greg. The World Cup semifinalists are now cemented. I want to know, who's your favorite? Is it going to be Brazil or France? Or you think Argentina and Messi going to come through? Morocco got the Cinderella team in there. Nobody expected them to be here. So, let me know what you think.
He's telling you the team names because you don't know anything about soccer.
He was telling you the team names.
No, I know the team names. I know everything. I got France. That's what I got. However, I got France or Brazil. Brazil look very solid.
To win it all?
Yeah.
Okay. So what about the quarterfinal matchups in general? So Croatia, Brazil. Obviously, you think Brazil's going to win.
Yeah.
Netherlands, Argentina. We already said that. You think Netherlands. He said he likes Messi in Argentina, though. He didn't actually say that. He said, do you think they're going to come through?
No.
Morocco, Portugal.
Well, I want Morocco to win.
Mm-hmm.
So
Portugal. And then obviously you think France is going to beat England. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's always going to be an upset? Okay. So which one of these teams is more likely to be upset?
Morocco or Portugal.
Portugal. Mm-hmm. Are you following what's happening with Ronaldo right now?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Speed didn't get he didn't even eat. Ronaldo got subbed in the 74th minute or whatever, and Speed only got to see 15 minutes of Ronaldo. That was crazy.
Wait, he only got to see 15 minutes of Ronaldo?
Yeah, because he was on the bench, so he got subbed in at whatever, and then he only got.
He got subbed in at the 74th minute,
something like that.
So what is this? Can you give me what's the Speed thing? Because is this the guy that's been trying to literally go see Ronaldo play, and he's either not been playing?
Yeah.
Because I saw where'd he go, and he went to a Man U game, and he wasn't even there, right?
Well, he wasn't playing.
So that's funny. Side note: have you seen his contract with the Live? I'm gonna call it the Live, the Saudi Arabian Saudi Arabia team.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go play golf? Would you go play soccer for that much money?
Yeah.
Was it like 200 mil
Yeah.
a year?
A year.
A year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 3 years, $600 million contract, bro. In
Yep.
euros. Oh, serious. Oh.
But that's euros is
I know.
less than $1.
No, it's not.
What was the last time I checked?
When? When did you check? I'm pretty sure the euro's been ahead of $1 for a long time.
I'm pretty sure it hasn't. It's 0.05. But so it's a little bit more. But last time I checked, it was the equivalent to 97 cents.
I mean, I know it did drop when your girl, Liz, whatever, the Truss,
Betty White Solos.
Liz Truss. What'd you say?
What?
Liz Truss, the Prime Minister of England for a couple weeks. Literally, she was there for like a couple weeks. When she took over, it dropped, during that time when she was Prime Minister. But it's been as high as $1.15.
Definitely what I thought you were talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought you were talking about, by the
Just
way.
look how long it's been above $1 for the last 5 years. Royce, get out of here. Anyway, I mean, you are right. In October, it did dip below. So, okay.
Just
Do you
like
think
a month ago, it was the same.
okay, but Brazil versus, do you think it's going to be Brazil versus France in the final?
Is that a possible outcome?
Yes.
Then yes.
And I believe it is. Let me triple check that, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Brazil versus
Yep.
Okay. Who wins the World Cup? Or do you want to save that for next week because we have time?
Probably Brazil.
All right. Well, I'm gonna include that in the pick 'em for next week. Or yeah. All right. So I did have one other thing I wanted to talk to you about, but I forgot what it is. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Because I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. We should talk about that too. No, nope, not that. Not that. Not that. Not that.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, you ready to move to the most anticipated segment in all of sports?
You didn't find it?
No.
I
didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Was it about sports?
Yeah.
Was it about basketball?
Probably. If I had to guess.
What kind of basketball?
I don't know.
So you literally just don't know.
I really don't.
At all.
Oh, I know what it was. But it's really more like filler content. Did I send you the article? I didn't send it to you. There was an article that came out that talked about how 100 points is not that important in basketball, in the NBA anymore.
Like, overall as a team scoring 100 points?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, no, because everybody does that.
Yeah, and they said, like, it used to mean that, like, when a team would score 100 points, you were, like, a 90-something percent chance to win the game. And now 45% of the losses, 45% of the teams that scored 100 points this year have lost the game. So, like, everybody, so the question was going to be, Mr. NBA, is scoring up meaning players are just better?
Yes.
Or is defense down?
Both. No. Well, both. But more so, scoring is up.
Is that because of players are better at shooting, or is that because of rules and freedom of movement?
That's because more players are scoring the ball more.
Well, right, but so back in like the 80s, you could basically
that's because
tackle people and get away with it. It wasn't a foul.
They're better.
So
they're just better. Players now are just more skilled than players have been before.
I definitely agree there. So I would be curious, Do you think it's time to relax the rules
No,
on defense?
no, I don't.
Let a little bit more touchy touch go?
No. The NBA will never do that.
I know. They got to protect the people. You can't go back to what the 80s were. Although, watching those old highlights of dudes legitimately fist fighting on the floor all the time was quite funny. Can I tell you something? Quick side note.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of y'all, I think most of y'all know by now, I tore my ACL back in September. I had surgery in October. Since the surgery, so since October 12th, the left side of my knee, where like I have a giant scar down my knee, is still numb. So I can't feel it. Okay. So when I do
What would happen
this,
if I threw a brick at you?
well, if you threw a brick, it would probably reset my rehab. But if you like taking this screw right here, I don't feel that. Okay. So I can feel pressure. Like if I push hard enough, I can feel that something's because there's other nerves, but like the surface, like I don't feel that. Okay. Really weird sensation. Start to feel it about right here. He's looking, y'all can't see this. But it itches all the time. And I can't scratch it because I don't feel it.
Mm.
It's like right now it is itching so bad. I just want to like scratch it, but I can't feel it. So I'm like doing this, but I can't feel it. It's actually a thing. So what that means is that my nerves are reconnecting under there. And it actually is a good sign. It means that it is healing up and I'll be able to feel more and more soon. But like I just want to itch. I can't. Okay. All right. So that was it. I just wanted to talk about the freedom of the scoring in basketball, but it was really more like a filler content. So with that, let's move to the most anticipated segment in all of sports, where Royce
Ranks them.
ranks him. Last week, we ranked the top players of the 60s, so
Yeah.
NBA players. I'm assuming we're ranking the top NBA players of the 70s.
Yep.
This week, do we have any honorable mentions?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Who we got?
Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld.
Elvin Hayes?
Yeah.
And Wes Unseld. Can you, again, can we do position and team?
Elvin Hayes, like power forward, center. Played for the Bullets, possibly the Rockets in the 70s, but I don't know about the 70s. And then Wes Unseld, power forward, center, Bullets.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Number 5.
Number 5. Who do you think number 5 is?
I have no idea. Dr. J.
I want you, Dr. J.
This is players
Why
of the
would
70s,
you say
right?
that? Why would you say that?
Because he's just the first player that I thought about that played in the 70s.
He's the only player you ever think about.
Well, yeah, because he's iconic 70s. He's Afro. Can I ask you this? Are there any repeats from this list from last week's list?
No.
Because I feel like there's like, what about, is Kareem on this list?
I can't tell you.
Okay. All right. So I would say, man, 70s. No, I don't know. Bill Walton.
Nope. Bob Lanier.
Bob Lanier.
Lanier.
Position, team.
Pistons. Pistons center.
Okay. I don't know anything about him. Got nothing.
No, neither.
Number 4. Why'd you choose him?
Because he's good. I'm just joking. I know stuff about everything.
Okay. All right.
Number 4. John Havlicek.
No, that makes sense. Team, position.
Boston Celtics. Guard.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Number 3.
Number 3. Bob McAdoo.
Bob McAdoo. Okay. Position, team.
I think it's the Buffaloes. I think it's the Buffaloes. Let's see. Yep. Maybe the Buffalo Braves. Yep. Buffalo Braves center.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2. We have a number 2 tie for Julius Erving and Walt Frazier.
Okay, so I was right. I mean, he is on the list. Walt Frazier, though. I mean, I know Walt Frazier's really good, but the legacy of Walt Frazier in the game. He's hurt. He comes back out of the tunnel. Comes back and leads up to a victory. No?
Okay.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
You do know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No? I mean, don't you think that like solidified that was his version of the flu game?
I think everyone has their own version of the flu game.
Right, but not everybody has. Here's what I say. I think all the greats have their own version of the flu game, but not everybody gets a flu game.
Everybody gets a flu game.
Everybody?
Everybody. Some are less serious than the flu, and some are more serious than the flu. The flu game wasn't that special. I mean, he had the flu. It's not like he was like dying. It's just it was the flu. He would have gotten over it.
What's LeBron's flu game?
LeBron's flu game? That one time? You remember that one time?
That's why I'm asking you.
Probably when Kobe died. That would be his flu game.
Okay. I don't.
Number 1, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Number 1, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Makes sense. Position, team.
Bucks center.
So Bucks Kareem, not Lakers Kareem.
Lakers center. That was like also like the 80s though. That was like more 80s than 70s.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Next week, I'll be able to really start to weigh in on this list. But I mean, the list I can't argue. But a lot of those, I mean, some of those players obviously played in the '80s as well, or they were good in the '60s. So, but I just that era of basketball, yep, for me. But '80s, and then obviously once we get to '90s, I'm all in. So, next week I'll be a little bit more help. But I think that was a good list. I can't even go backwards and name it again. But yeah. That concludes that segment.
Yep.
You got anything else to say?
No.
Okay. Well, for the people, what we got?
It's Larry Bird's birthday.
Larry the legend from. Oh, why did I just forget where he's from? I know he's from Indiana, but what city?
French Lick.
Oh, from French Lick. Yes, right. The hit from French Lick. All right. Cool. Happy birthday, Larry.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm interested. I'm kind of liking this thing. I got to get this spreadsheet together, and then it's gonna be real nice. All right. With that being said, I think we's out as he is.
Yep.
Till next week. Peace.